I'm John Mosley here with Billy Wright, who's going to be taking us through some of his gospel collection, this time on Sessions at the Princess.
Back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills, in that little white church in the hills of Tennessee.
So Billy, last time you played a little country for us, or doing gospel. Can you tell us a little bit about the songwriting process for gospel compared to country?
Pretty much the same. You just need to get an ideal and like it and go to work. And, you know, like I said, some songs will take a long time and some they'll come to you real quick.
So which did you start writing first, country or gospel?
I wrote gospel first.
And do you remember the first song you wrote?
I wrote Little White Shack, Little White Church.
Could you play it for us?
Yeah, sure will.
Awesome.
Oh, that little white church in the mountains, in the hills of Tennessee. It's where I long to be, back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills. Oh, that little white church in the mountains, in the hills of Tennessee. It's where I long to be, back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills. Oh, the mountain, it's where I long to be, back in the hills of Tennessee. It's where I long to be, back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills. As my memory turns back those pages of my childhood in the hills of Tennessee, it's where I long to be, back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills. Oh, the mountain, it's where I long to be, back in the hills of Tennessee. It's where I long to be, back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills, in that little white church in the hills of Tennessee.
So Billy, tell us just a little bit about what got you really inspired to write gospel and keep with it over the years.
Well, I kind of always wanted to do it, but I never really had the opportunity to do it because I was so busy in life working and making a living, and music takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to put a lot of time in it. So I was either working one job during the day and one at night and everything, you know, most of my life, that I didn't really have time to put in the music. I did a little bit of it when I could, but I didn't have the time to put in it. So 6, 7 years ago, I was able to put the time in it and able to get some people to help me. Mm-hmm. You know, we started playing little groups, and, you know, 2 or 3 of us got together and we started jamming, you know, at people's houses and stuff like that, and started putting some music together, and that's kind of what led me into the songwriting.
What's your favorite part of songwriting?
Well, like I said, I think the finished product, and if it turns out someone likes it, someone hears a song and says, "Hey, that was a good, I liked it," you know, or if they say I didn't like it, I don't mind that either, you know. I mean, you know, everybody has different opinions, and I understand that, you know. Everybody can't like your music. It has to appeal to certain people, and the ones that like it, and the ones that don't.
Is there a certain, of all the different genres you write for and play, do you prefer one over the other, or is it just you enjoy them all pretty evenly?
I like them. I just like music. I just like music, and I don't mind getting closed in a room and shutting the door in 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the evening and working on writing songs and playing my guitar.
You're going to play Sin's Another Song for us next. Could you tell us just a little bit about the writing for it and what inspired you?
Yeah, most, like I told you earlier, most songs come from somewhere. They have to start at a point. But without mentioning any names, I knew this, became friends with an elderly gentleman and some of his family, and he was a very wealthy man, had a lot of money, but was a, I got, over the years I learned that he was a good guy, and everything, but I think everybody had the wrong ideal about him, but this song came from the day before. I was visiting with him the day before he died, and when I pulled out of the driveway that day, it came in my head, parts of it, and then I went ahead and finished it up. Well, I'll sing another song.
Play for us.
Thank you.
Life's a lot like money. You spend it and it's gone. When you get to heaven, you'll sing another song. He'll sing about His glory, His presence, and His song. When you get to heaven, you'll sing another song. Life's a lot like money. You spend it and it's gone. When you get to heaven, the roses will be grown. He'll sing about His glory, His presence, and His song. When you get to heaven, you'll sing another song. Yes, I recall a summer when I went to the bank. Banker said, "You're loaded. Now, son, you need to think. 'Cause life's a lot like money. You spend it and it's gone. When you get to heaven, you'll sing another song. Life's a lot like money. You spend it and it's gone. When you get to heaven, the roses will be grown. You'll sing about His glory, His presence, and His song. When you get to heaven, you'll sing another song. When you get to heaven, you'll sing another song.
So, Billy, over the years, have there been any artists that inspired you?
Well, yeah, there've been a few, of course, Faith Hill is one of them that I like a lot, and I like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Alan Jackson. There's a lot of artists I like. I mean, I like a lot of artists, yes.
What about, are there any other musical genres that have kind of, over the years, helped out with writings you kind of, we wouldn't expect that you would have listened to or liked?
Probably not.
Probably not.
That I can think of right now.
That you can think of.
Yeah.
Well, take us back when you were writing "If My Heart Was Punctured." Like, when did you write this song?
Well, I don't remember the exact date, but I remember the exact incident when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing in Pigeon Forge at Country Night Theater, and when I would get off stage, and then we were doing a program there, and I went out and was, selling CDs and stuff like that, and this lady walked up. She was a rather young lady, and she had a small baby in her arms, and she said, enjoyed your program, and she wanted to buy a CD. And I made a comment about her baby. I thought it was a newborn,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a newborn. It was, she looked at me rather strange and said, well, she's 4 months old or 3 months old or something like that. I don't remember. But then she told me that it didn't weigh very much. It had a hole in its heart. It was born with a hole in its heart, and they was taking it to be repaired or had been repaired or something like that. And the child was just on his way to recovery and whatever.
Wow.
It looked real small, so I just, I take what I hear it and I make songs out of it. And this song that I'm going to sing for you next is a song that came from that little girl, and I have no idea if she did well or not. I had a feeling they was from out of state because I never seen her again.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen the baby again. I hope they did well.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really, that's something, I guess, was songwriting. You'll find inspiration everywhere.
Right.
So go ahead and play it for us.
Well, I'll try to. I can remember it.
If my heart was punctured, my soul bled through. Could you tell me, Lord? Could you tell me, Lord? Could you tell me what to do? Yes, I know I've been a sinner, but Lord, that's up to you. If my heart was punctured, my soul bled through. If my heart was damaged, my soul bled through. Could you fix all the pieces? Could you tell me what to do? Yes, I know I've done wrong, Lord, but Lord, help me through. If my heart was punctured, my soul bled through. If my heart was damaged, my soul bled through. Could you fix all the pieces? Could you tell me what to do? Yes, I know I've done wrong, Lord, but Lord, help me through. If my heart was punctured, my soul bled through. If my heart was punctured, my soul bled through.
So, Billy, how long have you been songwriting? Do you know exactly when you started?
Yeah, pretty much about 6 years, maybe 7 years. I've been maybe beating it around a little bit, but I mean, I really decided I was going to songwrite about 6 years ago. I wanted to do it, yes.
Is there a certain process you stick to every time, or is each song its own story?
Songs are different. If I'm driving and I see something and if it catches my attention, I like it, I'll pull my pencil and piece of paper out. I never go anywhere without pencil and piece of paper. I'll pull it out and write my little notes down and then try to build songs around it or build it around songs or whatever. I never know when they're going to come. They can hit me in the shower. You know, everybody sings in the shower. But anyway, you can hit me anytime. If I'll get up in the middle of the night and write a few words down.
What was the most recent song you wrote, and what exactly happened? What struck you that moment?
Well, I just finished this one, If My Heart Was Punctured. That's one of them. You know, that's one that I just finished up. I've been beating around with it for a while, but the melody just came to me here not too long ago. So I just recorded it. It's on my last CD, on my gospel album.
Okay. And then where can we see you if you want to come see you live? Are you playing anywhere soon that we can come catch you at?
Well, yeah, we play every Friday night in Rockwood when we can use the event center. The Rockwood Event Center's opened the doors to us on Friday nights, and we're trying to get a little group started down there and playing. So if you care to, just, drop by and see what's going on. It's at Rockwood.
Where can we get a hold of your CDs from?
Probably down to Antique Mall. I've got a few in down at the Rockwood Antique Mall, and I've got a shop down there. There's a big number down there on my store. I've got an antique shop down there, and call me, or the Rockwood Antique Mall would be a place where you can get them.
Awesome. Tell us about Certified. What the story behind your writing of it?
Well, I was in church a few years ago, and I was talking to a fella, and this preacher that was talking was kind of had a little different niche about him. He was just not your normal preacher. He just sort of different. He was real good, but the message he delivered, I wasn't expecting it. And kind of a just different style preacher. So I was talking to a fella, and I used to be a certified welder down at Washbar Nuclear Plant. So I just looked over and told him, I said, he's a certified preacher. And he laughed. And so, but coming home from church that day, I just kind of made me a few little notes without anybody knowing it, and ended up writing that song called Certified.
Well, play it for us, brother.
All right, we'll try it. Thank you.
I was tempted, full of sorrow. Yes, I had no place to go. Then I went, talked to the preacher man. Now I'm certified with the Lord, certified with my Jesus, certified with my Lord. If you want go to heaven someday, you must be certified with the Lord. When I was a young man, I followed Satan. When I was a young man, didn't have the Lord. Then I went, talked to the preacher man. Now I'm certified with the Lord, certified with my Jesus, certified with my Lord. If you want go to heaven someday, you must be certified with the Lord. Not a Christian, then you need Jesus. If you're a sinner, you better talk to the Lord. You just find yourself a preacher man and get certified with the Lord, certified with my Jesus, certified with my Lord. If you won't go to heaven someday, you must be certified with the Lord. You must be certified with the Lord. Back in the hills of Tennessee, it's where I long to be. Back in Tennessee, in that little white church in the hills, in that little white church in the hills of Tennessee.